When lending against real estate, we need to consider the value of the real estate. So how do we determine that? The majority of the time, the major banks do electronic appraisals, which aren't really an appraisal at all, but it's covered elsewhere in your textbook. When we get a full-blown appraisal, there are three different methodologies that are used to determine the value. The one that you're going to use the vast majority of the time is the direct comparison approach. So on the appraisal that you get from the appraiser, you're going to see two different values. You're going to see the direct comparison approach and the cost approach. And you're going to pretty much all the time ignore the cost approach and you're going to focus on the direct comparison approach. So they take three properties that are the most similar that they can find. So similar neighborhood, similar size, similar time frame, and they adjust them. So for example, if the one property has a garage and the other doesn't, they will adjust the value for that. One property has a fireplace, the other doesn't, if there is a bit of an age difference, a bit of a size difference, because you'll never find two properties that are exactly the same. Then they will give you a value at the bottom and say, this is the appraiser's best estimate of what the property should sell for. Cost approach you'll never really use. Might be used if a house burned down, for example, and they needed to determine the replacement cost. It will include depreciation, although many insurance policies are for replacement cost new. But in the bank, we don't really use that number. Income approach, if the individual is going to purchase the property as a rental property. This one you have to specify that you want. So they will automatically give you the direct comparison and the cost. You have to specify that you want the appendix that has the income approach. Income approach, they will compare it to other income properties in terms of how much rent you can charge. And then they'll use time value. Same as the principles we've learned in this course, except they will use the rental value, the monthly rent, as the payment and use that to solve for present value. And then that becomes the value of the property.